Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I've said on this platform that Zimbabwe is a failed state. And one of the reasons why we are a failed state is that the opposition, the MDC Triple C, is sold out. The people of Zimbabwe, as far back as the late 1990s, realized that ZANU-PF was corrupt, incompetent, and tyrannical. And that as long as the party is able to blatantly rig the elections, nothing will change. This has been at the heart of our problem. The people have risked everything to elect the opposition these last 25 years, with a view that once in power, the opposition would implement the democratic reforms necessary to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. This must be understood from the word go. The tragedy with Zimbabwe is 25 years since they elected the opposition MDC Triple C leaders, nothing has changed. Nothing. This is why ZANU-PF is able to rig elections and get away with it. What makes our situation worse is that the opposition leaders themselves don't even know what they are there for. And our situation is made worse by the fact that many of our own people have failed to understand what the opposition is supposed to be doing. And so they've continued to support the opposition, which has already proven beyond all reasonable doubt that they are corrupt, incompetent, liars, and conmen. Utterly useless. Nelson Chamisa has been leader of the MDC Triple C ever since the death of the late Morgan Tsvangirai in 2018. The opposition has proven to be totally ineffective. His taking over has not changed anything. The rot has continued. Here he has been promising to launch a new political party ever since when he walked out from Triple C. And this is what he had to say when he launched it.
Fellow citizens, I come to you at such a critical moment in the history of our country, possibly after 2 years, having left the dance floor, hoping that somebody else would occupy that dance floor. But I see there's none who has chosen to occupy the dance floor, and the dance floor is vacant. And I've seen it fit that I'm back on the floor to dance for my nation, to dance for the citizens, and to dance for the future. Our nation faces a pivotal moment and a critical juncture in the history of our country. The promise of independence has not yet translated into that rapid, accelerated transformation that we hoped to see. We have not seen transformation. That promise has been hijacked. We have not seen shared prosperity. We have not seen the dignity that had been promised to the citizens. We have not seen the sovereignty that the citizens were promised. We have not seen opportunities for all. But today, Zimbabwe is gripped by a disputed national processes cycle, deepening economic hardships, political uncertainty, social collapse, and moral decay. Government services and support has been partisanized, meaning to say that things are done according to the partisan lines. We've seen an escalation of discohesion, unfolding instability, heightened national anxiety, and eroded public trust. We've endured decades of crisis, political intolerance, national discohesion. Hatred has become a religion. Hate has been foisted upon the citizens on account of politics and political differences. Zimbabwe continues to suffer from a debilitating legitimacy crisis born out of rigged elections, institutionalized idolatry, sponsored hate, contrived intolerance, endemic corruption, illegal recalls, hijacking of genuine alternative or opposition, and ubiquitous state capture. For Zimbabweans in the diaspora, life has not been easy. The struggle is real.
I will not play the whole thing. For those who are interested in listening to all of it, you can find it on the YouTube and other channels. What I wanted to emphasize here is that Chamisa is telling us the economic and political problems that Zimbabwe is in. We know that. We know that the economy is in total meltdown. We already know that. We also know that ZANU-PF has been rigging elections. This is why I said at the beginning, the people risked everything to elect the opposition MDC in 1999 when the party was launched, and gave them a very specific task to implement the necessary democratic changes to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. So the question that we really must address now with the agency the matter demands is, why have we failed to stop ZANU-PF rigging the elections? He talked of disputed elections. Correct. But he failed, even if you were to listen to the whole tape, he has not addressed the issue of why we still have disputed elections. More significantly, the role that he and his MDC Triple C friends have played in that scenario. MDC had the golden opportunity to implement the democratic reforms which would have ended the case of rigged elections during the 2008 to 2013 GNU. Chamisa himself was one of the senior members in that GNU. They failed to implement even one reform. Not even one. When ZANU-PF cronies were asked, why are MDC not implementing reforms? They answered, Mazwana MDC adzidzira kuti kanyerere. In other words, MDC leaders have learned to enjoy the good life on the gravy train. They're not going to rock the boat. This has been at the heart of our problem here. Chamisa and company failed to implement the democratic reforms, even when they had the golden opportunity to do so. Worse still, at the end of the GNU in 2013, they had the opportunity to redeem themselves. SADC leaders called a special SADC summit in Maputo, where they advised the MDC leaders, Morgan Trangirai, Tendai, etc., that they should not go into the 2013 elections without first implementing the democratic reforms. They ignored the advice and participated. ZANU-PF, of course, blatantly rigged those elections. Hence the start of this problem of disputed elections. You cannot keep on participating in a flawed process, claiming that, no, this time you're going to win because they found ways of stopping ZANU-PF rigging the elections. And then the day after the election results come out, you turn around and say, our elections were rigged. This is the cycle that we have faced in Zimbabwe. Later on in this video, he goes to compare with, this has happened in other countries like Tanzania and so forth. There is a subtle difference between what has happened in Tanzania and what has happened in Zimbabwe. And that difference is important. As far as I know, the Tanzania opposition have never been given the opportunity to implement the democratic reforms to stop the elections being rigged. And as far as I know, the opposition leaders have never said, let's go to the elections. We have plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. We are going to win these elections. Hashtag God is in it, even invoking the name of God. And yet our opposition have done that. I'm disappointed at the number of Zimbabweans who have reacted with great enthusiasm, euphoria if you want, to the launch of this new political party. The same euphoria that we saw in 2017 when there was the military coup. People embraced that as the country's second real Independence Day, when all they managed to do is remove one dictator only to replace him with another. This new political party that Chamisa has launched, there's nothing to it. The one thing that he's going to do is that that party is going to be used as a vehicle to justify participating in 2028 elections with no reforms implemented. They'll come up with another lie that the party will win those elections and call people to participate in those elections in millions. And thus gives ZANU-PF legitimacy. We're back to where we are. This new party is offering nothing new to what Triple C was offering. It's just the same bullshit on a different day. The bottom line is Chamisa will con people to participate in flawed 2028 elections, only to turn around and dispute the process. The very thing that he's saying is he is trying to stop, is fighting to stop. This new party is supposed to stop. That is a tragedy. And the people of Zimbabwe have not woken up to be able to tell the difference between the same thing being sold to them over and over again and saying no to that. The euphoria that we see here is completely misplaced, to say the very least. We really have to wake up as a nation. Nations get the government they deserve. We in Zimbabwe, we deserve this corrupt, tyrannical, and murderous ZANU-PF dictatorship, complete with his equally corrupt, incompetent, and utterly useless MDC Triple C opposition. If we have not learned from the past that we keep repeating the same foolish mistake of participating in flawed elections, then we will pay the price for it. For Zimbabwe, it will be 46 years and counting of rigged elections. And Chamisa is just about to tell us again that he has devised ways of winning the rigged elections, so that come 2028, it will be 48 years of rigged elections. And we'll be participating, hoping against hope that we'll have a different result, that the opposition would win. We really have to learn. As I said, this new party is the same bull as Chamisa has been offering all along. How anyone can be so easily fooled, beggars belief. Think about it. Have a good day.